Space was quiet. Too quiet. The kind of silence that made even machines seem alive. High above an uncharted planet, the small research ship Aurora 17 floated in orbit. The stars outside shimmered like cold eyes watching from afar. Inside the control room, soft beeps filled the air. Communications officer Alara Trent leaned closer to her console. She frowned. A strange signal flickered across her screen, broken, uneven, and not from any human source. "Captain, I'm picking up something," she said. "It's not on any known frequency." Captain Rees, a calm man with silver eyes and too many years in space, turned slowly. "Source?" he asked. Alara hesitated. "That's the thing. It's coming from the planet. But it's moving." The crew exchanged uncertain looks. The planet below was unlike anything in their records, half covered in swirling silver clouds, half in dark green mist that looked alive. No colonies, no signals, no signs of civilization, and yet, someone or something was calling. She adjusted the filters. The static cleared for a second, and a trembling voice came through. "Please, please help me." It was female, soft, desperate. The bridge went silent. "I'll do anything. If you help my son." The voice broke into static again. Then, nothing. Alara's hand froze on the console. That single sentence hung in the air like a ghost. Captain Rees stepped closer. "Record that. Full log. Then run a scan for life signs." Alara nodded, but her heart was beating fast. It wasn't just the words, it was the emotion in them. Whoever it was, she wasn't faking. The scans flickered to life, spreading lines of green over the planet's surface. Nothing, nothing. Then a pulse, there. Alara pointed. Small energy signature near the northern hemisphere. "It's weak, but it's there." The captain crossed his arms. "Could be a trap. Or someone in real trouble," Alara replied quietly. The tension thickened. Everyone knew the rule. Unknown signals from unknown planets were to be ignored unless confirmed safe. But something about that voice. Even the captain couldn't shake it. Finally he sighed. "Prep a shuttle. We'll check it out." Engineer Mac Holloway groaned. "Sir, with respect, we don't even know what's down there. Could be hostile life, radiation, hell. The planet itself could eat us." Captain Rees gave a thin smile. "That's why I'm bringing you, Mac. If something tries to eat us, you can fix it." Alara almost smiled, but she couldn't stop thinking about the voice. She replayed it again in her mind. The fear, the pain, the motherly instinct that transcended species. "Help my son." The shuttle Argus cut through the clouds like a blade. Below, the planet's surface shimmered with impossible colors, rivers of glowing blue. Forests that moved with the wind like breathing lungs. "Atmosphere's breathable," Mac muttered, checking his scanner. "But these readings, damn. It's like the planet's alive." Alara looked through the window. "Alive how?" He turned the scanner toward her. Heartbeat patterns, pulse rhythms across the soil. Like the whole surface has circulation. Captain Rees didn't respond. He was staring ahead. "There," he said quietly. "The signal's origin." A crashed ship lay half buried in the glowing ground. It was unlike any human design, curved, organic, almost like bone and metal fused together. The hull pulsed faintly, breathing in slow intervals. They landed nearby. The air outside was heavy, thick with strange scents, metallic and floral at once. Every step on the soil made it ripple slightly. Like water under a thin skin, Alara led the way, flashlight cutting through mist. Inside the wreckage, something moved. "Hold your fire," the captain ordered. Alara stepped closer and saw her, a tall figure, covered in torn silver armor, slumped against the wall. Her skin shimmered faintly under the light, scales like glass and eyes burning a deep violet. The alien woman looked up weakly. When she spoke, her voice was the same one from the transmission. "You came." Alara knelt down slowly. "We heard your signal. Who are you?" The alien coughed, a faint glow spilling from her wounds. "Kaler. Of the Varen. My ship, attacked. My son trapped inside." Her hand trembled as she pointed toward a sealed chamber half buried in twisted metal. "Please, he is dying." Captain Rees exchanged a look with Alara. "We can't stay long. Radiation's climbing." Alara ignored him. She moved to the sealed chamber, scanning it. "There's life in there. Very weak. I can cut it open." Kaler's eyes widened. "You would help him?" Alara nodded. "Yes." The alien grabbed her wrist, surprisingly gentle. "You don't understand. Helping him may kill you." Alara met her gaze. "Then let's hope you're wrong." Mac used his torch to slice open the chamber. A hiss of mist escaped. Inside lay a small alien child, pale, fragile, covered in faint markings that pulsed with light. As Alara touched him, the light surged, flowing into her hand, up her arm. The planet rumbled beneath them. Mac shouted, "What's happening?" The ground shifted violently. Outside, the clouds swirled, forming a storm of light and shadow. Kaler screamed something in her language, a sound like broken glass and thunder. Alara tried to pull her hand away, but the light held her fast. Images flashed in her mind: fire, screams, war, a child crying. Then darkness. When she came to, the ship was silent again. The alien child was breathing faintly. Kaler knelt beside him, tears of relief glowing down her cheeks. "Thank you," she whispered. "But now, you must go." Alara blinked. "Why?" Kaler looked toward the dark sky outside. Her voice was barely a whisper. "Because you've awakened him." The ground trembled again, deeper this time. From beyond the hills, something vast began to move. A shape rising through the mist, larger than mountains, darker than night. Captain Rees stared in disbelief. "What the hell is that?" Kaler's eyes glowed. "The Guardian. And he does not forgive." The ground shook like something beneath the surface had taken a deep breath. Dust rose into the air, glowing faintly in the strange green light of the alien sky. Ilara's heart pounded. The giant shape in the distance was still rising, too slow, too heavy, like a mountain learning to move. "Back to the shuttle." Captain Rees shouted. "Now!" Mac grabbed the gear. "What the hell is that thing?" Alara didn't answer. She looked back, at Kaler, the alien mother, kneeling beside her unconscious son. Kaler's silver scales shimmered like wet glass, but her expression was calm, almost sad. "You cannot run," she said softly. "The Guardian will not stop." The storm overhead deepened. Lightning flashed purple through the clouds. The air itself felt alive, thick, humming, electric. The soil under their boots pulsed, as if the world had veins. Mac cursed. "Feels like we're standing on a heart." Kaler looked up at him. "You are. This world is alive. Every breath you take. It feels it." Alara glanced around, confused and awed. The trees nearby were moving, not from wind, but from rhythm, bending gently in sync with the rumbling ground. The planet was breathing, slow and steady. The Guardian silhouette loomed closer now, a Titanic being made of dark shifting matter. Its eyes glowed white, empty and ancient. The sound of its movement was like mountains grinding against each other. Alara stepped forward. "If we don't leave, it'll kill us. Come with us, both of you." Kaler shook her head. "The Guardian protects this place. It feels fear. You brought change. It thinks you mean harm." Captain Rees activated his comlink. "Aurora 17, we need extraction, now. Static." No answer. He tried again. "Aurora, do you read?" The radio hissed with nothing but whispers, faint, echoing voices. Not human ones. Alara frowned. "Captain, listen." A soft voice came through the static, the same tone as the alien mother, but different words. "He feels pain. He does not understand you." Then silence again. Captain Rees looked at Alara. Who the hell was that? Color closed her eyes. "The planet speaks when it must. You've touched its heart, through my son." Alara turned toward the alien child. He was awake now, weak, but alive. His eyes glowed faint blue, reflecting her face. He reached out his small hand and touched hers. For a moment, she felt warmth spread through her chest, calm, gentle, like sunlight through water. And then, she saw something. A flash of memory. Not hers. A city of silver towers under alien skies. Fire raining down. Humans and aliens fighting side by side, then turning on each other. A ship crashing through the clouds. A mother screaming. Alara gasped and pulled her hand back. What was that? Kaler looked at her sadly. He remembers too much. They made him. To connect. Captain Rees narrowed his eyes. Made him? You mean he's engineered? Kaler nodded slowly. He was created, part of me, part of your kind. Everyone froze. Mac whispered, half human? Kaler didn't answer directly. They called him the bridge. The one who could link minds, heal wounds, or destroy worlds. The Guardian watches him because he is the planet's pulse now. Outside, the Guardian roared, a sound that made the air vibrate and the ground ripple. Alara felt it in her bones. Not anger, pain. Kaler whispered, it knows he's awake. Alara turned to the captain. We can't fight that thing. We need to go now. Rees nodded. Grab them both. Mac, get the engines ready. They ran through the glowing forest. Every step made the ground shudder. Strange orbs of light floated between the trees, like eyes watching them pass. The planet's pulse grew louder, faster. Kaler stumbled, but Alara caught her. Hold on. They reached the shuttle. Just as the Guardian broke through the mist. It wasn't a creature of flesh or metal, it was the planet itself. Its body shifted with roots, rocks, and rivers twisting together. A face formed from the clouds above, eyes as big as suns, staring straight at them. Mac yelled, it's right on us. He powered up the engines, but the ship's systems flickered wildly, lights flashing, alarms blaring. The console showed impossible readings. Temperature, gravity, atmosphere, all changing every second. Color shouted over the chaos. It's not attacking, it's warning you. Alara looked out the viewport. The Guardian's massive hand reached forward, but didn't strike. Instead, it touched the ground beside them. The soil glowed, and the same glowing lines spread up the ship's hull like veins. Mac swore. It's linking with us. I can't lift off. Alara pressed her hand against the window. The Guardian's eyes met hers, and for a moment, she understood that it wasn't trying to kill them. It was afraid, Alara whispered. It thinks we'll take the child away. Kaler's eyes widened. Then we must show it mercy. Captain Rees hesitated. Show a planet mercy? How? Kyler looked at Alara's hand, still faintly glowing from before. You already began. Alara swallowed. If I can link again, maybe it'll see our intentions. Mac shook his head. Or maybe it'll melt your brain. Alara smiled faintly. Guess we'll find out. She knelt beside the alien child and touched his hand again. Instantly, her mind filled with light. She felt the planet's heartbeat. The Guardian's rage turned into confusion. And then sadness. Through the bond, she sent one clear thought. We are not your enemy. The tremors slowed. The storm began to fade. The Guardian's form dissolved into mist. sinking back into the ground like a wave returning to sea. Silence. Only the hum of the ship remained. Captain Rees exhaled. Well, whatever you did, it worked. Elara looked at the child, still glowing softly. I think he trusted me. Collar smiled weakly. You touched his soul. That's something even his own kind couldn't do. But before anyone could rest, the ship's radar beeped. Mac frowned. Captain? We've got new contacts, multiple, coming fast. Elara turned to look through the viewport and saw distant lights descending through the clouds, sharp, metallic. Human. Kalira's expression darkened. They found us. The sky was bleeding light. Flashes of silver and red tore through the clouds as the human ships broke atmosphere, fast, cold, and silent. Their engines roared like thunder, shaking the breathing world below. Elara stood frozen by the shuttle's viewport, watching the storm of fire descend. Beside her, Kyler whispered a single word in her alien tongue, a word that sounded like grief. Captain Rees snapped into action. Mac, prep for emergency liftoff. I don't care what that planet thinks. We're leaving. Mac's hands flew over the controls. Trying, sir, but the systems are still unstable. The planet's messing with the circuits. Elara turned toward Kaler. Who are they? You said they found us. Who's coming? Kaler looked up slowly, her glowing eyes reflecting the fires in the sky. Humans, she said softly. Your kind. The ones who made him. The words hit like a cold wave. Elara felt her throat tighten. That's impossible. The Aurora is the only human vessel within. Not anymore, Keller interrupted. They never stopped searching. They will take him back. Or burn this world to dust trying. The child stirred in Colore's arms, a faint whimper escaping his lips. His glow flickered, then dimmed, as if he felt the fear in his mother's heart. Outside, the clouds tore open. Dozens of human war drones streamed down like falling stars, sleek metal bodies armed with bright blue plasma. Defensive units. Mac yelled. They're setting perimeter fields around us. Rees grabbed his weapon. All hands ready positions. Elara, keep her and the kid safe. But before he could finish, the ground began to shake again. Deep, rhythmic, powerful. Kyler gasped. No, not again. The soil cracked apart in a circle around the clearing. Blue light poured through, and the air filled with a low, trembling sound, not thunder, not machinery, but breathing. From the fractures rose the Guardian, reborn in fury. Its form no longer mist and light. Now it was solid, terrible and ancient. Stone, roots, and molten veins shaped into a creature that towered above the forest. Its eyes burned like twin stars. The drones opened fire. The sky lit up in chaos. Bolts of plasma crashed against the Guardian's surface, bursting like sparks against armor. But it didn't fall. It moved, slowly, purposefully. Each step sent shockwaves through the ground, splitting trees like matchsticks. The air turned to wind, the wind to storm. Elara shielded her face. Captain, the Guardian's not stopping. Kaler's voice broke through the roar. It defends my son. The drone's weapons make it believe he's under attack. Rees cursed. Then tell it to stop. Kyler pressed a trembling hand to her chest, whispering in her own language, glowing brighter, but the Guardian didn't listen. It howled, a sound that made the air itself vibrate. The human drones were crushed like insects under invisible pressure. Mac shouted, It's generating a gravity field. We're gonna get torn apart. Elara looked at the child, his eyes wide, glowing brighter now. He reached for her hand again. When she touched him, everything changed. The noise vanished. She was standing in silence, in a place without color, without time. Before her stood the Guardian, massive and still. Elara realized she wasn't really there. She was inside the creature's mind. Or maybe the planets. The Guardian's voice echoed around her, deep and ancient. Why do your kind return, destroyer of skies? Ilara tried to speak, but her voice shook. We came to help. We didn't know. Help, it repeated, the word rolling like thunder. You burn what you touch. You take. You build from the bones of others. She saw flashes, memories not her own. Human ships cutting through alien worlds. Cities turned to ash. Screams under burning skies. Ilara fell to her knees. That wasn't me. I'm not like them. The Guardian leaned closer. Its eyes were endless. You hold the light of my child. You feel as I feel. Prove you are different. Suddenly, she was back, gasping for air in the shuttle's doorway. The link broke. Outside, the Guardian was turning its gaze toward them. Kaler fell to the ground, weak. He doesn't understand. He feels only pain now. Ilara stood, her voice firm. Then let me show him. She ran out into the storm. Trent! Reese shouted. Get back here. But she didn't stop. Lightning slashed across the sky as she walked toward the towering being. The ground shuddered beneath every step. Wind ripped at her hair. Dust stung her face. But she didn't stop. When she was close enough to see her reflection in its eyes, she raised her arms. We are not your enemy. The Guardian's massive hand reached down, shadow engulfing her. She closed her eyes, expecting death. Instead, warmth, the glow from the child's light, the same blue hue, spread through her hands. Into the air, connecting her and the Guardian like a pulse. The ground stilled. The storm slowed. Elara whispered, He's your child. Not your weapon. Let us save him. For a long moment, there was only silence. Then the Guardian's eyes dimmed, not gone, but calm. Kaler stumbled to her feet, tears of relief glowing on her cheeks. He listens. You did it. But before anyone could breathe, the comlink crackled. Captain Ree's voice came through, cold and hard. Ilara, we've got a problem. The fleet in orbit is locking targets. They're preparing for strike. Ilara's eyes widened. They'll destroy everything. Kaler looked to the sky, her face pale. You see now why we ran. The Guardian lifted its head, sensing danger above. Its voice echoed like rolling thunder. They returned to finish what they began. Ilara looked up through the smoke and lightning and saw it. A massive shadow in orbit. Human warship. Cannons glowing. She whispered, Oh God. The first beam of light fell, cutting through the clouds. Like a sword, the Guardian roared. And the planet screamed with it. The beam of light split the sky. It struck miles away, but the shockwave rolled across the land like a tidal wave of fire. The air turned white, then black. Trees melted. The ground rippled like water. The Aurora's crew were thrown off their feet. Ilara hit the dirt, her vision blurring. When the ringing in her ears faded, she heard the world crying, not just the wind or the planet, but something deeper. Like pain itself had a voice. The Guardian was still standing, burned, bleeding light. But alive, Kaler clutched her child close, whispering softly, They will not stop until he's gone. Captain Reese stumbled to his feet, shouting over the storm. That blast came from orbit. It's one of ours. Max stared at the sky. Human fleet? Here? That's impossible. We didn't even send coordinates. Ilara's voice was cold. Someone did. Reese froze. What are you saying? She turned to him. The Aurora's logs. They transmit automatically to Central Command every 20 hours. They know where we are. Before Reese could answer, the clouds above split open again. This time, not with fire, but with precision. A massive human warship descended through the storm, glowing thrusters tearing holes in the clouds. Its hull was silver, marked with the red insignia of the Terran Vanguard, the most feared military. Fleet in human space. Kaliris' eyes widened with hatred. The hunters. The warship's loudspeaker boomed across the planet. A deep, mechanical voice. Unidentified research crew. This is Command Ship Valiant. You are in restricted space. Hand over the alien subjects immediately and prepare for extraction. Reese clenched his jaw. They think they're rescuing us. Ilara shook her head. No, they're coming for him. The Valiant's landing crafts shot out like arrows, streaking toward them. The Guardian, still recovering, growled low, the ground vibrating under its anger. Kaler turned to Ilara. You must take him. Hide him. What? Why me? Ilara asked. Kaler looked at her, eyes fierce. Because he trusts you. You touched his mind. He will listen only to you now. The alien child reached out to Ilara, silent, glowing faintly, eyes full of innocence and fear. Something inside her broke. Before she could argue, the first landing craft touched down nearby. Human soldiers poured out, armor shining, weapons raised. Their commander, a tall man with a scar across his cheek, stepped forward. Ilara Trent, he said, voice echoing through his helmet. You are ordered to surrender the alien entities and stand down. Reese moved in front of her. Commander Hale, we didn't request backup. What's the meaning of this? Hale smiled, the kind of smile that didn't reach his eyes. You stumbled onto a classified experiment, Captain. This alien child is property of the Terran Vanguard. We're here to bring it home. Ilara's voice trembled. Home? You mean back to the lab? Back to the cages? Hale looked at her like she was a child. You don't understand what you've found. That hybrid is the key to the next stage of evolution. His DNA can cure diseases, rebuild soldiers, terraform worlds. But in the wrong hands, he's a weapon. Kaler stepped forward, hissing. He is not your creation. He is my son. Hale didn't flinch. He's both, half human, half something else. He belongs to both of us, and neither. Reese aimed his rifle. You'll have to go through us first. Hale's visor turned toward him. Don't make this worse, Captain. Humanity needs this child. For survival. Ilara's voice hardened. That's what you said before every war. Every genocide. The Guardian roared in the distance, an echo of her rage. The soldiers aimed their weapons. Fire! Hale shouted. Energy blasts tore through the clearing. Kalira threw herself over her son, shielding him. Reese and Mac fired back. The air burned with light. Ilara crawled through the smoke toward Kaler. We have to move. Now Kaler's armor was scorched, her breath ragged. She pressed something into Ilara's hand, a small crystal sphere pulsing with faint blue light. What is this? Ilara asked. Kaler's voice was barely a whisper. His core link. It connects him to the planet. If it's broken, he dies. Ilara stared at her. You're not coming with us? Kaler smiled weakly, eyes shining. I will hold them back. You take him to the heart of the world. The Guardian's roar grew louder, closer. Lightning split the ground between the soldiers, throwing them off balance. Kaler turned to face them, glowing with fierce light. Ilara shouted, You'll die. Kaler looked back once, and smiled like a mother seeing her child safe for the last time. Then I will die as I lived, protecting him. The next explosion drowned everything. When the dust settled, Kaler was gone. Only the blue glow of her armor remained, fading slowly into the earth. Ilara held the child tight as tears mixed with dust on her face. I'm sorry, she whispered. The Guardian appeared behind them, towering over the wreckage. Its voice echoed deep through the storm. One life ends. Another begins. Captain Reese staggered forward. We can't fight that warship. They'll glass the whole planet if they have to. Ilara looked up at him, eyes burning, voice steady. Then we find the heart of this world before they do. The Guardian bowed its head slightly, as if understanding her will. A path opened through the glowing forest, roots and vines parting to reveal a tunnel of living light. Ilara turned to Reese and Mac. "You still with me?" Mac spat on the ground. "I didn't come this far to hand over a kid to monsters." Reese nodded. "Then let's finish what we started." The child looked up at Ilara, small hand gripping hers. Light pulsing through their joined fingers above them, the Valiant's cannons charged again. Lightning crawling across its surface. Ilara whispered, "We're running out of time." And with that, they entered the light. The tunnel of light swallowed them whole. For a moment, there was no sound, only weightless silence. Then the floor beneath their feet rippled, soft and warm like skin, and they found themselves walking inside the planet's living veins. Blue streams of energy flowed through translucent walls. The air shimmered, carrying a faint heartbeat that matched Ilara's own pulse. Mac whispered, "Are we inside it?" Captain Reese answered quietly, "Feels like we're walking through a giant organism." The alien child clung to Ilara's arm. His glow brightened with every step, guiding them deeper. At last they reached a wide chamber, vast, round, alive. At its center floated a column of liquid light, spiraling upward like a tree made of stars. The child looked up and pointed. His voice, soft and unsure, formed a single word. "Home." Ilara felt warmth bloom in her chest. "This is the heart, isn't it?" The Guardian's deep voice rolled through the chamber, though no shape appeared. "This is where the world begins and ends." The ground trembled gently, not in warning but in greeting. Ilara knelt beside the boy. "Your mother said this place keeps you alive." He looked into her eyes, silver meeting blue, and suddenly, light burst between them. Ilara gasped as her vision blurred, her thoughts dissolving into his. She was somewhere else. A lab of shining steel. Humans in white coats, aliens locked behind glass. The sound of a child crying. A voice human, cold, said, "Hybrid Unit KO1 shows stable fusion. Proceed to neural binding." Pain, fear, screaming. Then a flash of Kayla's face, her hands pressed against the glass. Helpless, Ilara's heart twisted. "You were born in a cage," she whispered inside the memory. The child's mind answered, not with words, but with emotion, loneliness, confusion, a need for warmth. Then Kayla's voice. "Run, my son." An explosion. A ship breaking free. The planet calling him home. The images faded. Ilara was back in the glowing chamber, tears streaking down her face. Captain Reese touched her shoulder. "Ilara, what happened?" She wiped her eyes. "He showed me everything. The labs, the experiments. Humans created him using alien DNA. Kayla was their captive. When she escaped, she brought him here." Mac's face paled. So the stories were true. The Vanguard's hybrid program. Reese swore under his breath. They used living beings as raw material. Ilara looked at the child, who watched her silently. "He's more than their experiment. He's the link between two species, between two minds." The Guardian's voice rumbled again. "He carries both hearts. Through him, life can join or destroy itself." The chamber darkened slightly, pulsing in rhythm with the Guardian's words. "If he lives in peace, worlds heal. If he dies in fear, everything connected to him will fall." Ilara's breath caught. Everything. Meaning this planet? Meaning all that share his blood. She realized what that meant. Humans too. The same DNA that made him part of them, tied their fates together. Reese whispered, "If the Vanguard kills him, they kill us all." The truth hung in the air like gravity. Then the ship's comlink crackled. Mac glanced at his wrist device. "Signal incoming from orbit." A hollow voice filled the chamber. "This is Commander Hale. We know you're still alive, Trent. Surrender the hybrid or we fire again." Ilara stared upward at the glowing ceiling. He's bluffing. Reese shook his head. He's not. The Valiant carries enough firepower to turn this planet into dust. The Guardian's voice deepened to a growl. Then they choose death. Ilara looked at the boy, who trembled in fear. No, she said firmly. No more death. He needs calm, not anger. She turned to Reese. Help me link with him again. Maybe we can reach them, show them the truth. Mac hesitated. You're talking about connecting human minds through alien bioenergy. You don't even know what that'll do to you. Ilara smiled faintly. Then I'll be the first to find out. She placed her hands on the child's shoulders. Light spilled from his skin, wrapping around her arms like gentle fire. The chamber brightened, veins glowing brighter and brighter, until she could barely see. Her mind stretched outward. She felt the Guardian's vast presence, the heartbeat of the planet. The pulse of the orbiting warship, all threads of one web. She reached for that connection and pulled, for one breathless instant. Everyone, Ilara, the Guardian, the child. Even the soldiers above shared a single thought. A memory of Kayla's love. Her final words. The warmth of her sacrifice. And then it snapped. Ilara fell backward, gasping. The light dimmed. The child caught her hand, terrified. Mac rushed forward. Ilara, you okay? She nodded weakly. I saw them. The people on the Valiant. For a second, they felt it. They hesitated. Reese looked toward the surface. If you can reach them again, maybe. Before he could finish, the entire planet shook violently. The chamber walls pulsed red. The Guardian's voice thundered. They fire again. Through the glowing roof, a beam of white light speared down, burning through layers of living rock. Ilara clutched the boy to her chest as debris rained around them. The Guardian roared, "Protect the heart!" Max shouted over the chaos, "We can't stay here. The next blast will tear this whole place apart." Reese grabbed Ilara's arm. "If you die, the link dies too." Ilara met his eyes, calm despite the storm. "Then we make it count." She turned to the boy. "Listen to me. You can stop this. You feel everything. Show them what this world feels when it burns." The child hesitated, glowing brighter, trembling between fear and courage. Ilara whispered, "You're not their weapon. Your life. Be that." He closed his eyes. The chamber exploded in light. Every living thing on the planet, trees, rivers, even the wind rose in a single voice. A blinding wave of emotion surged into orbit, crashing through the Valiant systems. The warship froze. Weapons powered down. Crews screamed as visions of Kayla's last moment filled their minds. And then, silence. The beam faded. The sky cleared. The planet breathed again. Ilara collapsed, exhausted but alive. The child knelt beside her, his glow gentle now, steady. Captain Reese stared at the now peaceful sky. What did he do? Ilara smiled faintly. He made them feel. But above them, hidden in the clouds, the Valiant still lingered silent, watching. And Commander Hale's voice whispered through the comlink one last time. "You've only delayed the inevitable. Trent, next time we'll take him by force." Ilara looked up, eyes blazing with defiance. "Then next time," she said softly, "we'll be Reed." The storm was gone. The planet breathed softly again, its glowing forests whispering like wind through glass. For the first time since they landed, silence felt like peace. Not danger. Ilara sat by a still pond inside the cavern, her reflection flickering in its glowing surface. The child slept beside her, wrapped in the remains of color as cloth. His faint blue light pulsed slowly, like a heartbeat returning to normal. Captain Reese stood a few feet away, staring up at the open wound in the ceiling where the blast had nearly torn through. "They're still up there," he said quietly. "Just waiting." Mac leaned against a stone pillar. "If they wanted to finish the job, they would have by now." Ilara didn't look up. They're thinking. I made them feel. That's worse than fear to men like Holly. Reese turned toward her. You linked them all together. For a few seconds, they shared the aliens' emotions. That's something command can't explain. Or control. Ilara touched the crystal spheric Allure had given her. It still glowed faintly. That's why they'll come back. To control what they don't understand. The Guardian's voice rumbled through the cavern like distant thunder. They will return soon. The machine mind's hunger for power they cannot wield. Ilara glanced toward the sound. Then we have to decide what do we do when they do. The Guardian's form shimmered into view, massive, majestic, part stone, part light. Its single eye blazed softly. The boy must ascend. Only through the Great Link can he survive what is coming. Mac frowned. Ascend? What's that supposed to mean? He's just a kid. He is no longer just flesh, the Guardian said. He is bridge and key. The moment he joins the heart, his essence will spread through the network. He will become one with this world and with all that carries his blood. Ilara felt her stomach twist. You mean he'll lose himself? He'll stop being him. The Guardian lowered its head slightly. He will become something greater. The silence that followed was heavy. Reese spoke softly, almost to himself. Greater doesn't mean happier. Ilara rose to her feet. No, he deserves a choice. Hours passed. The light shifted to a deeper shade of violet nightfall on this strange world. Ilara sat beside the boy as he stirred awake. His silver eyes opened slowly, calm but sad. Where's my mother? He asked. Ilara swallowed the lump in her throat. She's with the stars now. But part of her live's here. Inside the planet. Inside you. He nodded quietly, too wise for his age. She said I would have to choose one day. What choice? Ilara asked gently. He looked up. To save them. Or to save you. Her heart skipped. What do you mean? The child pointed upward, toward the heavens. If I join the heart, this world lives. The humans will lose their power here. They will never control me. But they will see it as a threat. They will destroy themselves trying to stop it. And if you don't join? She asked. Then the planet dies, he said softly. And the energy inside it will go back to the humans. They'll use it to make more like me. The words hit her like a knife. Either way, someone would fall. Reese approached. Ilara, we can't let him sacrifice himself. He's a child. She turned to him. And what if he's the only one who can save everything? Max spoke up. You sound like command. They used that same logic when they made him. Ilara's eyes flashed. The difference is, I'm giving him the choice. The Guardian's voice echoed again. The fleet awakens. Their fire gathers. Time runs thin. Outside, thunder rolled, not natural, but mechanical. The Valiant was moving again. Reese tapped his communicator. Reading massive energy buildup from orbit. They're charging the main cannon. Ilara turned to the boy, kneeling in front of him. You don't owe anyone anything. Not me, not them, not even this world. But whatever you choose, I'll stand with you. The boy looked at her for a long time. His small hands trembled. Then, slowly, he touched the glowing crystal in her palm. It flared brighter, connecting them one last time. Images flooded her mind again. But this time it wasn't fear or pain, it was clarity. She saw both futures, one where the planet bloomed into endless light, and the stars sang with life, and one where machines and men tore the universe apart, driven by hunger for what they could never feel. When the vision faded, he was crying. I don't want anyone to die, he whispered. Ilara pulled him into her arms. Then make them understand. He nodded, determination replacing fear. I'll try. Above, in orbit, Commander Holly stood on the Valiant's bridge, watching the planet glow brighter on the screen. "Charge full power," he ordered. "Prepare to fire." A young officer hesitated. "Sir, the readings are unstable. Whatever's happening down there, it's reacting to us. Do it." Holly snapped. "Before we lose control." But it was already too late. The child raised his hands. A wave of light burst from the planet's core, pure living energy spiraling through space. It wrapped around the warship like a gentle hand, not crushing it, but showing it. Every soldier, every mind aboard the Valiant suddenly saw the truth, the memories of Kaler, the experiments, the suffering they'd ignored, the faces of the innocent, the beauty of what they were destroying. And then they heard one voice, Elora's, echoing in their minds. "This is what we could be, if we stopped trying to own everything." Halle fell to his knees, clutching his head. The cannon's energy died. The ship powered down completely. Back below, the light faded. The boy collapsed into Ilara's arms, unconscious but alive. The Guardian's voice spoke softly. He chose mercy. Reese looked around the quiet cavern. "What happens now?" Ilara gazed up at the now peaceful sky. "Now," she said, "it's humanity's turn to choose." The sky above the alien world was finally clear. No thunder, no cannon fire. Just stars, silent, watching. The Valiant drifted in orbit, its once bright engines dim. Across its decks, silence reigned where orders used to bark. Men and women sat frozen, haunted by the visions the child had shared. They had seen what it meant to feel. Commander Halle stood alone on the bridge. His reflection stared back from the shattered screen, eyes hollow, face lit by the planet's soft blue glow. He whispered, "What have we done?" No one answered. Down below, in the heart of the living world, Ilara watched the boy sleep. His glow was dimmer now, not fading, but calmer. The Guardian stood nearby, a silent sentinel of light and stone. Captain Reese approached quietly. "He's stable. Whatever he did up there, it linked them all. Every ship, every human on board." Ilara nodded. "He showed them her love. Kaler's love. The thing we keep pretending doesn't matter." Reese sighed. "And what happens when they go home? When Command asks what happened here?" Ilara looked up toward the stars. "Then we tell them the truth, even if they're not ready to hear it." The Guardian's deep voice filled the chamber. "The choice is made. The child lives, and the world breathes again. But the humans above still carry their hunger. If they return, the balance will break." Mac entered, carrying the remains of their communicator array. "Signals coming through again," he said. "Earth Command. They're asking for a report." Ilara froze. "Earth, home." She took the transmitter in her hands. The screen flickered, static clearing into the stern face of an admiral. His voice was clipped, impatient. "Lieutenant Trent, we lost contact for 48 hours. What's your status? What happened on Veralia 7? Ilara stared at the small blinking light, the symbol of humanity's endless curiosity and endless control. She thought of Kaler's last smile, the child's quiet bravery, the Guardian's ancient sorrow. Finally she spoke. "Admiral, we made contact with a sentient ecosystem. A living planet, not a resource, not a colony. A being." The Admiral frowned. "You're saying the planet itself is alive? That's absurd." Reese leaned into view. "We saw it, sir. We felt it. It's real." The Admiral's tone sharpened. "And the alien entities?" Ilara looked at the sleeping child. "One remains. A hybrid, half human, half of this world." There was a pause. Then the Admiral's voice turned cold. "Recover it immediately. That specimen belongs to the Vanguard." Mac muttered, "Here we go again." Ilara's expression didn't change. "No, sir. He's not your specimen. He's a person. Lieutenant, the Admiral snapped. You are under direct order. Ilara slowly turned off the audio feed. The signal died, leaving only the whisper of the glowing forest. Reese sighed. You just cut off Earth Command. Ilara smiled faintly. For the first time, that felt right. Hours passed. The Aurora crew prepared their ship for launch, scavenging what they could. The planet's energy pulsed through the ground like a heartbeat, strong and steady. Before boarding, Ilara knelt beside the boy. His eyes fluttered open, silver and calm. Are you leaving? He asked softly. Not leaving, she said. Just going to make sure no one ever hurts you again. He touched her hand. You showed them what humans can be, kind, brave, sad. But kind. She smiled. You did that, not me. The Guardian lowered its massive head, its single blue eye gleaming.